This is 9 News with Stephanie Anderson.
Good afternoon. A man has tragically died trying to rescue his dog from a burning Ocean Grove home. The victim had earlier escaped the property with his partner, but frantically ran back inside to find their pet. Julia Passarelli has more.
This Ocean Grove home has been taped off by police after a deadly fire ripped through the property in the early hours of this morning. A couple inside were woken by fire alarms and the smell of smoke. It's understood they both managed to escape before 69-year-old Les Crampton went back inside and became trapped. Crews pulled him out, but sadly he couldn't be saved. The couple's pug also didn't make it out.
He was a wonderful man, and it's a terrible tragedy that's happened. And he'll always be thought of with very fond memories.
Fire investigators and arson chemists spent hours sifting through the home today, while the father's heartbroken family and neighbours visited the scene.
Just wanted to lay some flowers out of respect, really. Feel very sad when one of our community has passed away.
In this small community, it's a very sad loss. And he was well respected.
Les's loved ones believe the fire started in an office at the back of the home and was sparked by an electrical fault.
Another 83 charges have been laid against accused childcare pedophile Joshua Brown after police identified 4 new alleged victims at 3 centres which had previously been identified by police. The 27-year-old is already facing charges relating to 8 children aged 5 months to 2 years old who attended Creative Garden Early Learning Centre in Point Cook. The additional alleged victims attended Nino Early Learning Adventures in Point Cook in 2019, Only About Children in Williamstown between December 2020 and February 2021, and Aussie Kindies Early Learning Centre in Keilor in February this year. Police say the children's families have been notified and no one will require further health testing. Okay, the Premier has confirmed 1,000 public sector jobs will be slashed over the next 4 years in a bid to save $4 billion. State political reporter Heidi Murphy is across the details and joins me here in the studio. Heidi, where will be cut?
Well, we don't have exact department breakdowns, we don't have exact agency breakdowns. What we can tell you is that headline $1,000 job figure, and we can tell you that most of them are in the senior parts of government. They are more senior public servants. There'll also be a range of other cuts around, say, office accommodation space. There will be some fewer government agencies and committees, and there'll be some of the other usual efficiency measures, say, around consultancy savings. The government's talking about $4 billion worth of savings over 4 years. It's come from a review that the government's actually been sitting on for 4 or 5 months now. This review was taking a forensic look at the public service. It actually made recommendations for even deeper cuts to 1,000 jobs and $5 billion worth of savings. The government's pulled back from that, not going to that level. They weren't liking several recommendations that went a bit close to some frontline services. But the government says since most of the jobs are going at the upper end, they have agreed with the review that found it's a little top-heavy, our public service.
Victorian families are watching every dollar in their household budgets and they expect their government to do the same, and that's exactly what we are doing.
That is a $4 billion admission of failure from this government. For the Victorian public service workers that are hearing this news today, just days from many of them going on Christmas break, starting their Christmas holidays, is absolutely unacceptable.
Now, Heidi, no surprise, a lot of reaction to this, particularly from the unions. I found it quite interesting. They actually said they thought it would be worse.
Well, they thought it would be far worse. When the Treasurer first announced this back in February, she was talking about 2,000 or 3,000 jobs. There were some union concerns it could get up as high as around 6,000 jobs. So to have it at this much smaller number was a cause for celebration today, though the union has also told us the public service is under-resourced and needs more, and they will even fight every one of these job cuts.
The Victorian Public Service is not adequately resourced. And yes, we think that there could be some reshuffling of resources.
We will continue to fight to save as many jobs as possible.
We will now wait to see if all of those savings are delivered. There will be the mid-year budget update coming tomorrow that'll cast a bit more clarity over where the budget is at just at the moment.
Watch this space. All right, thanks, Heidi. We'll see you at 6. Okay, 2 people have died and another 2 are seriously injured following a horror smash in Melton overnight. Isabel Quinlan reports.
It was just after 9 o'clock last night when it's understood a silver sedan turning right on the Nepean Highway collided with a motorbike, ejecting the rider and the passenger onto the road. Emergency services rushed to the scene.
It was just carnage, people everywhere trying to help. There was a person in the car which at that stage they said it was trapped, so there would be the fire brigade trying to get him out and work on him.
A 44-year-old man and a 37-year-old woman were both rushed to the Alfred Hospital in a critical condition, but sadly the man died. The driver of the car, a 65-year-old man, and his 91-year-old mother were taken to the Royal Melbourne for treatment. She later succumbed to her injuries in hospital. Locals say the intersection is notorious for crashes, telling 9 News they've made a number of complaints.
Every week there's an accident here of some description.
You say things and you ring up local councils and Vic Roads, and I feel like he falls on deaf ears at times. It's sad because it's near Christmas time now, and you know everyone should be with their families and getting organised to have Christmas Day, and now someone's lost their family.
While the exact circumstances surrounding the collision are still being investigated, police are looking into whether speed was a factor.
Jewish leaders from around the world have travelled to Melbourne to mark 1 year since the Ripponlea Synagogue firebombing. As Penelope Leish reports, it comes amid concerning new data about the number of anti-Semitic incidents in Victoria.
Jewish community leaders from across the globe have today come here to Melbourne's Adas Israel Synagogue to show their support for the community and pay their respects a year on from the firebombing.
We're a big family. We wake up in the morning and we see this happen here. We know that it could happen in Canada and around the world.
What's happened here a year ago in Melbourne has happened around the world in other places, including tragically in the UK.
Our hearts go out to you, and we are a family, and we will stay unified, and we will fight together.
Earlier this year, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the head of ASIO informed the nation they believe Iran was behind the attack on the synagogue last December. Today, 2 of the men charged over the arson attack appeared in Melbourne Magistrates Court. The case will return next year.
It's important, I think, that the laws are strengthened so that where there is an attack upon an ethnic or religious institution, the consequences take into account the impact upon the community. Because Australia leads the world in the alarming percentage increase in anti-Semitic incidents over the last 2 years.
We are here to show that we are together fighting this tsunami of anti-Jewish hate that we've been seeing not only here in Australia, but all over the world.
The rebuild has begun here inside and outside the synagogue, but it's expected to take years of work to return it bigger and better. The community say they hope it will be complete come 2029.
OK, when 9's afternoon news returns, the first person sentenced over actor Matthew Perry's death, and the teen social media ban takes effect early on some platforms.
There are 3 fires burning in the Los Angeles area.
The year
You're gambling with World War III.
that never
This was a bombshell.
stops surprising. A special event Sunday.
Still some of the best people that I've ever met.
Power.
The word tariff is my favourite word.
No longer be known as Prince.
Truth.
Your offending involved premeditation.
And the moments that brought Australia together.
It's been a bit of an ordeal.
Join Samantha Armitage
The events that really stood out.
and celebrate
Taylor Swift is engaged.
the year that was.
I don't like you either.
Sunday at 7 on 9.
The 4 Bears.
Cut. You okay, John?
I just promised the fam an awesome holiday and I haven't booked anything yet.
Get clukin', John.
Tokyo Cat Cafe. Klooked. My son will love this. Now for my wife. Nope. No. Klooked. And why not? Sushi making. Phew. Holiday fully sorted.
Travel fully with Klook.
I'm Matt, I'm a doctor and I've been with Australian Ethical for 6 years. There's a lot of things that worry me, including climate change and the impact that has on the things that I love to do. My values are very much eager to contribute to the world being a better place, and I want my money to be where my mouth is, and Australian Ethical really aligned with my values in that way. My super fund invests for my future and for the world I love. Does yours?
smelly. Real food makes your dog's poo less horrific. Yeah. Switch to Leica.
With our festive feast. Get 2 large value pizzas, a 1.25 litre drink, garlic bread, chicken bites and cinnamon scrolls for a joyful low price. Pick up or delivered only at Domino's.
If you're a driver, rider, pedestrian or bystander and been injured in a vehicle accident, you could be entitled to compensation. Arnold, Thomas and Becker advise on all your rights, which can be in addition to your TAC claim. Talk directly to an Arnold, Thomas and Becker lawyer today.
Experience the state-of-the-art Melbourne City Lexus, Melbourne's largest showroom with the full range of Lexus models on display, including the new luxury SUVs. Melbourne City Lexus at 501 Swanston Street. Experience amazing.
9 News, brought to you by Temper. The difference is Temper.
Part of the Princess Highway in Werribee was shut during peak hour last night after a man was brandishing a machete in front of motorists. Police say the 24-year-old was acting erratically. Officers tried to negotiate before deploying a taser. No one was injured in the incident, but the man was taken to hospital. Well, a Californian doctor who supplied ketamine to Matthew Perry has become the first person to be sentenced over the actor's death. US correspondent Reid Butler reports.
Well, Dr. Salvador Plasencia is the first person sentenced in connection to the death of Friends star Matthew Perry. He illegally supplied the actor with ketamine in the weeks before his fatal overdose. Plasencia received a sentence of 30 months in prison, or 2.5 years. But that's a little comfort for Perry's family here at the court in downtown Los Angeles.
So you agree with the sentencing?
Does it matter?
Well,
no, not really.
Perry was 54 and had been struggling with addiction for years when he was found dead in his LA home. He'd been taking legally prescribed ketamine for depression, but turned to Plasencia when his regular doctor wouldn't provide the amount he wanted. A month before the actor's death, Plasencia had texted another doctor about how much to charge Perry for the ketamine, writing, "I wonder how much this moron will pay, and let's find out."
Look, it's a tragic story, and, sometimes apparently nice guys do bad things. The legal system has to take account.
Was there any relief at all, sir?
Today, the judge emphasised that Plasencia did not provide the ketamine that ultimately led to Perry's death, but told him he exploited the actor's addiction for his own profit. In total, 5 people have been convicted over Perry's death, including a woman dubbed the ketamine queen. She supplied the drugs that caused Perry to overdose, and she'll be sentenced here in LA next week.
Debbie and Glenn Maguire's world was ripped apart when their daughter Hannah was murdered by her abusive boyfriend in Ballarat in April 2024. Through a police investigation and court trial, the grief-stricken parents have said very little. But with the killer now sentenced, they want to be heard. So Debbie sat down to speak exclusively with 9 Court reporter Amber Johnston. And Amber joins me in the studio today. Thanks for your time, Amber. Debbie sat down and spoke to you. It's been a really long time. Why was now the right time for the Maguires?
So, Steph, as you can imagine, Hannah's parents, Debbie and Glenn, they just wanted justice for their little girl. And when the case did eventually go to court, they were really terrified that a single word could potentially ruin their chance at that. So they stayed silent throughout the whole process, which just would have been so incredibly difficult for them. There is so much that they've wanted to say, but they stayed silent. And now that Hannah's abusive ex-boyfriend, Lachlan Young, has now been sentenced, it is their time to finally share their story. And I'm really grateful that they chose us to tell us what they really think about what's happened. So in short, they're really disappointed at the sentence that was handed down. 28 years with a non-parole of 22 years and 4 months. That's pretty much the age Hannah was when she was killed. What I found really interesting is what Debbie said about her first impressions of Lachlan Young when she met him. She said that she formed a really strong opinion in the first 10 seconds of meeting Lachlan, and it wasn't a good one. And then during the interview, we, of course, moved on and started talking about Hannah. And it was just so heartbreaking to hear how Debbie would describe Hannah as just being this beacon of light, a really sunny personality. She was a teacher's aide. She loved the little kids that she worked with. And in short, I guess she was just a real empath and saw the best in people. Which is important to note as well. But so she really gave Lachlan many chances, but it did get to a point where she tried to leave the relationship. But like so many abusive relationships, it was just so hard to escape. And Debbie and Glenn ended up going with Hannah to police and getting out 2 intervention orders. So they did all the right things. And of course, we know how it all ended. So they are just so upset. Take a listen now at what Debbie had to say.
He was awful from the outset. For someone who's just meeting someone's parents for the first time, he couldn't even pretend to be something. He came as he was, and he was rude. He was foul-mouthed.
As time went on in their relationship, I'd had conversations with Han about, you know, I know how domestic violence situations end up, and it can end up in death. And we had spoken about that, and I think Han just didn't, you know, believe that he would ever do that, or that won't happen to me.
It is heartbreaking and so powerful to hear her speak now, hear Debbie speak. You talked about why the timing was right. I imagine it's part of the legacy that they want Hannah to be remembered for.
Exactly right. So as we mentioned earlier, Hannah was a teacher's aide, and she cared so much about the young generation. And Debbie spoke a lot about, you know, when she thinks about what Hannah would have wanted out of all this, she would want better education. And we also said we just cannot believe that we're sat down here still having these conversations. But this is the reality of the world we're living in. So she really hopes that there can be a bigger emphasis on respectful relationships and teaching our younger generations that this sort of behaviour is completely unacceptable. And as for Debbie and Glenn, they really want to see mandatory minimum sentencing requirements for murder charges in Victoria, which is what we don't have at the moment. They do have it in other states, such as New South Wales, but not here. So what they want is that if someone is on a murder charge, they want a minimum sentencing requirement at the very least of 25 years. So that is something that she's really pushing. And all in all, she just wants to make sure that no other family ends up in this situation, and she really hopes that if there are any women watching this and they're in a similar situation, they feel empowered to leave. And of course, there are so many wonderful services that can help as well. So we'll put up on the screen now 1-800-RESPECT. The team there are just fantastic, but there are so many more that can help people in this situation.
It is. That's free. That's confidential counselling service, and it's a phone call away for those who need it. Amber, it's such a powerful story you have worked on here. We will see the full interview and your full piece in A Current Affair after 9 News at 6 tonight.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you, Amber. OK, well, Aussie teens under 16 are being booted off social media platforms several days before the official ban comes into effect. Federal politics reporter Amanda Kopp with the latest.
Meta, which is the owner of Facebook and Instagram, says they've identified around 500,000 underage profiles using their sites. They technically don't have to deactivate those accounts until December 10, 6 days from now, but the company is taking no chances, making sure that they avoid government fines of up to $50 million if they fail to make a concerted effort to get kids off their platforms. The government's new policy, which restricts social media access to those under the age of 16, also applies to other companies such as TikTok, Snapchat and YouTube.
It is the day where we've seen social media laws for the first time apply anywhere in the world. Not everything is going to be resolved on that day, but this is a really important step forward.
We want to see parents, children and the community reassured that this will be done properly and it will be done well.
While families will be battling potentially grumpy teens in coming days, households could be in for some welcome news on energy prices. The Australian Energy Market Commission suggesting that prices could drop by 5% over the next 5 years, but only if more renewables enter the grid. If there are delays, particularly to wind farms and transmission lines, which are already facing fierce community backlash, those predicted price drops could evaporate.
With the Energy Minister unable to focus on his real job, which is bringing down energy prices for households and families.
But with an East Coast gas reserve set to be announced next week, there could at least be better predictions for gas prices in coming years.
It's been revealed that secret talks were held between the Save the Children charity and Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke about repatriating ISIS brides. Notes of the meeting suggest Burke recommended to find a way and asked a public servant to leave for a frank discussion.
What help was provided? Because clearly help was provided.
Burke maintains the government provided no assistance beyond legal obligations. OK, coming up after the break, we're live to Hobart for the latest on the vote for a Tasmanian stadium. The King and Queen mark the first German state visit to Britain in nearly 30 years. And Elvis on song at the Australian Open.
If you've already been to the usual destinations, maybe this is the next frontier for you to try.
Dive in.
If heaven was a place on earth, it would look like Bora Bora.
To the most spectacular, sun-soaked adventures. Getaway Holidays in the Sun. Tonight, 7:30 on 9.
With Woolworths, you can bring a plate the whole crowd will love this Christmas. Like our naturally wood-smoked Woolworths half leg ham at an everyday low price of just $8 a kilo. Shop in-store or online today at Woolworths.
Locals. You can't beat them.
Especially at Christmas.
When they avoid the shopping centre struggles and annoying ordeals. By dashing straight into great deals. Because IGA has everything you need. So you can skip the chaos and everyone can have a very Merry Christmas.
Oh, even me?
Yeah.
IGA. You can't beat local at Christmas.
Movement that inspires.
Tell him, honey.
Oh, so we took this trip to Bali with the kids.
And he took a big trip in Bali.
Well, they were uneven steps. Lucky we got Southern Cross travel insurance.
A massive hospital bill kind of luck. They sorted everything.
That's why we can still smile about it, eh, babe?
Honey, we're a fridge magnet. We're stuck here smiling about it forever.
When the unexpected happens, fingers crossed, you got Southern Cross.
I'm Matt, I'm a doctor and I've been with Australian Ethical for 6 years. There's a lot of things that worry me, including climate change and the impact that has on the things that I love to do. My values are very much eager to contribute to the world being a better place, and I want my money to be where my mouth is, and Australian Ethical really aligned with my values in that way. My super fund invests for my future and for the world I love. Does yours?
Oh.
Mom! We make buying a home less like this.
Aussie can help us find, buy and own.
Aussie, everything you need to find, buy and own.
Where are the kids?
What kind of crazy life hack is this?
The dishwasher doesn't dry the dishes well enough.
Try Finish Rinse Save.
For 2 times better drying, including on plastic, improving shine and protecting glasses.
Finish, the real life hack.
This sports report brought to you by Ford. It takes you and a Ranger.
Welcome back. Sport now, and it was a rollercoaster opening day for Australian Open draw card Rory McIlroy. Nat Yanides has been keeping an eye on the world number 2 at Royal Melbourne.
McIlroy mania certainly hit fever pitch on day one of the Australian Open. The world number 2 was followed around by thousands of fans as he made his way around Royal Melbourne alongside Aussie stars Minwoo Lee and Adam Scott. Now, McIlroy started the day with a bang, carding a birdie on the first hole, but from there it was a bit of a mixed bag. He finished with 6 bogeys and 5 birdies on his way to being 1 over after the first round.
It was a roller coaster day. I felt like any time I made a birdie or two, I'd then make a bogey or two, and it was just it felt like one of those days. It was like, okay, what side of par am I going to finish on? Is it going to be under or over? And it ended up being over, but it wasn't terrible. I hit it in a couple of bad spots, and then a couple of early 3 putts as well.
It was a better day for McIlroy's playing partners. Scott and Lee both finished the day 2 under par, but that is 4 shots off the leader, Aussie rising star Elvis Smiley, who hit 7 birdies and 1 bogey in his opening round.
There was a lot to like. Obviously, that 3-putt to kick things off on the 10th wasn't that great, but I felt like I did a really good job of putting that behind me and got along with what I do best. I mean, I love these kind of conditions when it's windy, firm, fast greens. It really requires you to use your imagination, use your creativity, and I felt like I did a really good job of that today.
So McIlroy will certainly have some work to do on day 2, but hopefully this wind has died down by then. Of course, all the action from the Australian Open is live and free on 9.
Arsenal have strengthened their title lead, downing Brentford 2-0. The Gunners have now moved 5 points clear of second-placed Manchester City. Meanwhile, title challengers Chelsea stumbled, slumping to a shock 3-1 loss to Leeds United. And this is where we say goodbye to our viewers in regional Victoria. Your next bulletin is Win News at 5:30, followed by Melbourne's 9 News at 6. OK, from Perth to the Sunshine State, English cricket fans can't escape the heat as the Aussies seek to take a 2-0 lead in the second test in Brisbane. It's green and gold inside the Gabba right now, but it was a very balmy reception for reporter Sam Jordan in enemy territory.
It has been 12 days since the end of the first Ashes test, and now the rivalry is reigniting here at the Gabba. More than 40,000 fans are piling into the stadium for a sold-out day one. In fact, the first 3 days of this test match are sold out as well, and there's certainly high hopes from both sets of supporters.
Come on, Aussies! Come on, Aussie, come on! Come on!
I've had a few bucks fares. That makes anyone confident.
I think we're going to smash it this time.
England are aware they have a mountain to climb here at the Gabba. It has been 39 years since they've beaten Australia in a test match at the venue, and they're going to need to keep this series alive. If they go 2-0 down, the numbers are against them. Only one side in history has fought back from a 2-0 deficit to win the Ashes series, and that was back in 1937, led by the great Sir Donald Bradman. They're going for the kill and that 2-0 series lead.
And Mitchell Starc has stunned England, claiming 2 early wickets to have the tourists reeling on day 1 of the second test. Winning the toss and opting to bat, Ben Duckett was removed in the first over.
Edge taking it first. Starc, first over again. You can't keep him out of the game.
England have since regathered their feet, currently 2 for 64. OK, debate over Tasmania's controversial stadium, which is required to secure the state and AFL team, is getting closer to a final vote in Parliament this afternoon. Let's go live to Win News sport reporter Brent Costello in Hobart. Brent, thanks for your time. All signs are pointing to it having the support required to be locked in, but when will we know for sure?
No one seems to know exactly, Steph. It is taking its time, there's no doubt about that. I think it'll be today, but whether that's 2 hours' time, whether that's by midnight, we just don't know. I've got a few spies in at Parliament House and they tell me it is dragging on, but we will get there eventually. So the MLCs have spent the day going over the stadium order with a fine-tooth comb. That's what's taking so long. So just to take it back to yesterday, we found out and got an indication of which way the MLCs will vote, but that official vote is yet to take place. So we're hoping that will come, as I said, by the end of the day. They were in Parliament until 2:45 this morning, putting their views forward on the stadium. So there'll be some tired and weary members by the end of this, whenever it does finish up, Steph.
Absolutely. All right, so if the final vote is a yes, Brent, what happens next?
Yeah, it's a good question because, as we said, the Tasmania Devils have just forged on throughout this. They'll breathe a huge sigh of relief, though. This is the news they've been waiting for a very long time, so they'll be very, very happy. As far as the stadium build goes, we don't expect that to happen until at least late next year. There'll be some work done on the ground, etc., but no major part of the build will take place until at least late next year. Obviously, the football club needs to be playing in the venue by the start of the 2029 AFL season. That means upon entry in 2028, they'll play out of Ninja Stadium at Bellerive and also Launceston's UTAS Stadium. It's hard to see the stadium being built, though, in time for the 2029 first bounce. So with that comes some penalties for the Tasmania government. Those penalties, though, go back to the football club. So that is some good news for the Devils. If they're not in their home ground, they will be compensated for that. But, yeah, it is hard to see the stadium being built by 2029, but there's still plenty to do before then, that's for sure.
There sure is, including potentially a long night ahead. Brent Costello from Win News Tasmania, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Steph.
OK, just ahead for you, a notorious drug kingpin compared to El Chapo, jailed in Melbourne. And the incredible story of baby Ellie, defying the odds after being born at just 22 weeks.
Irresistible tipping point. One watch and you're hooked.
Weekdays at 5 on 9. Strap yourself in this summer for a high-octane, wet and wild adventure.
Who here? I can feel warm.
5 seafaring friends take on everything aquatic. The action-packed new series, Top Knots, tonight on 9 and 9 now.
Movement that inspires.
With Orbit Remit, it's quick and easy to send money back home to your loved ones. And it's up to 75% cheaper than the banks. Orbit Remit, where money can buy happiness.
Oh, so you corporate types think you're rock stars?
That's like me being a corporate type.
I can't believe my AI agent scheduled all my interviews.
Why are we doing this?
Rediscover your appetite for life with our secure and stable Snap-on implant dentures at Rock Solid Implants and Dentures in Clayton. Our highly trained team can help improve your confidence and your smile with Snap-on dentures. Available now from an affordable $6,995. Call Rock Solid Implants and Dentures today.
Do you suffer from painful mild varicose veins? Introducing Caruso's Veins Clear, the new improved formula from Australia's #1 veins care brand. Caruso's Veins Clear contains horse chestnut, a herb traditionally used in Western herbal medicine to relieve the aching and heavy legs, leg swelling and itchiness of mild varicose veins. Caruso's Veins Clear also maintains healthy blood circulation and blood vessel health. Caruso's Veins Clear is made in Australia and comes with a money-back guarantee. Available from leading pharmacies and health stores.
A performance that truly matters for each and every one of us. This is what you've been waiting for. Shen Yun. Coming to Melbourne Convention Centre, March 6th through the 15th. Tickets at shenyun.com.
Have the perfect night's sleep this Christmas thanks to Clark Rubber. We've got a massive 25% off all Comfort Plus Australian-made foam mattresses, perfect for guests staying over or Christmas camping. Hurry, offer ends Sunday, December 14. Only at Clark Rubber, your home of the Aussie Christmas.
Hard work keeping flies off the menu? Try Aeroguard's new UV light trap. Its clever design attracts and traps flying insects 24/7 and is chemical pesticide free. That means less swatting and more living. Trust Airguard. Beat pests, protect the rest.
1,000 jobs from Victoria's public sector will be axed as the Allen government looks to save $4 billion over the next 4 years. An independent review that the government paid $2 million for had urged for even deeper cuts, but today a smaller figure was confirmed.
Victorian families are watching every dollar in their household budgets and they expect their government to do the same, and that's exactly what we are doing.
That is a $4 billion admission of failure from this government. For the Victorian public service workers that are hearing this news today, just days from many of them going on Christmas break, starting their Christmas holidays, is absolutely unacceptable.
The Union for Public Servants unexpectedly hailed the job cuts as a victory, fearing up to 6,000 roles could have been axed. Well, the world's most hunted drug lord, dubbed the El Chapo of Asia, has been sentenced to 16 years jail in a Melbourne court. More from court reporter Amber Johnston.
C.G. Lott was flanked by a number of security guards inside the county court as he finally learned his fate. His arrest at the time made global headlines and inspired a number of documentaries, but his run has come to an end. An entrance such as this is only reserved for those who the world fears the most. C.G. Lott, dubbed the El Chapo of Asia, arriving at court in a heavily armoured vehicle. Today, the 63-year-old was sentenced to 16 years jail in a Melbourne court, a world away from the life he lived when he ran a multi-billion-dollar drug empire that spanned continents. He was arrested in Amsterdam in 2021 and extradited to Victoria, where he eventually pleaded guilty to running a syndicate that was responsible for up to 70% of all narcotics entering Australia. C.G. Lott would have normally faced life behind bars, but the judge said his hands were tied because of a deal the Australian government struck with the Netherlands, capping the maximum sentence to 25 years.
Healthcare workers have rallied at State Parliament, walking off the job today as part of their ongoing pay dispute. The Health Workers Union has spent almost a year negotiating a new deal with the Allen government.
We're calling for 6% yearly wage rises. The nurses were given 7.1% last year. We're not unreasonable. We're happy to find a compromise.
Up to 1,000 elective surgeries have been impacted by the strike action. Well, born severely premature at just 22 weeks, baby Ellie and her parents have been able to head home after almost 6 months in hospital. Nathan Curry met them.
I'm the biggest gate crusher right now because I've joined baby Ellie's first outing since she finally left hospital yesterday with Steve and Melanie, her parents. Guys, can you explain how special it is that we're currently at your local cafe with baby Ellie right now?
We've spent 164 days in hospital, so being able to bring her home and out to her favourite cafe, it's amazing beyond words.
And Steve, not only that, yesterday you also got to say goodbye to the lovely staff at the Monash. A few tears were shed then. How incredible was that moment?
I can't say enough how thankful I am to everyone at Monash. At the Children's, they've just been fantastic. And I'd love to say that I'd love to see him again there, but I don't want to see him again.
Melanie, how young was Ellie when she was born, and can you try and explain what a miracle she is?
She was born at 22 weeks and 5 days, so that's the minimum age they should allow parents to resuscitate their baby if needed. She was born without needing resuscitation at a whopping 410 grams. And now she's finally reached 3.7 kilos and we were able to bring her home.
Incredible, and now she's out at the local cafe. She's having a little sleep at the moment maybe, but yeah, she's a special thing. It's great to meet her. So let's do a little cheers, I think, to baby Ellie. There we go. We'll see more of Ellie and Stephen Melani's story in 9 News at 6 tonight.
Amazing. OK, the King and Queen have welcomed Germany's president to Windsor Castle for a glittering banquet marking the first German state visit in nearly 3 decades. Here's Europe correspondent Jessica Millward.
Well, state visits are always a stunning affair, and this one from the German President and First Lady was no exception. Absolutely glorious images from inside Windsor Castle for the state banquet. Everyone looking Spectacular. It was the Prince and Princess of Wales who were the welcoming party at Heathrow, greeting the German president for the first state visit from the country in 27 years. They were then taken to the grounds of Windsor, where the King and Queen were waiting. There was a carriage procession and an inspection of the guards, but the state banquet is always the jewel in the crown of these events. It was very festive themed. And someone else who is getting into the Christmas spirit is the Duchess of Sussex. Her Christmas special has been released on Netflix. It is 56 minutes long. Prince Harry appears for a couple of those minutes and gives his wife a very honest review of her gumbo stew.
I'm not so sure it's as good as your mum's, but it's certainly close. Wow.
What? Oh my gosh. Look, my mom will love you for that. You know what? What a good thing to say for your mother-in-law.
Exactly.
Prince Harry may be in the doghouse with his wife, but certainly earning some brownie points with the mother-in-law.
OK, now with a look ahead to 9 News at 6, Alicia Loxley joins me here at the desk. And Alicia, more charges have been laid and victims identified relating to accused pedophile Joshua Brown.
Yeah, so we've heard today 83 new charges he is facing, and they relate to 4 additional victims, along with 8 previously identified victims. And the important information here, I guess, for parents of those at the childcare centres, because there were a lot of them where Joshua Brown worked, that no additional testing needs to take place. Now, we know about 1,200 children did have to go through testing for sexually transmitted infections. The additional victims have already been through that process, and from what we've learned today, the parents have now been notified that their children have been identified in this, and so these charges will be added to his charge sheet. So that brings the number of charges to 156, and you can see on the screen now the additional 4 victims identified come from within those already identified childcare centres at Point Cook, Williamstown and Keilor. So just another really devastating turn in this story.
Absolutely. We just spoke to Brent Costello in Hobart, the Tassie Stadium.
Big night in Tassie.
It was a big night last night. It sounds like it's a big night ahead tonight too. They're getting ever so slowly but surely closer to a final vote.
Yeah, so he's going to be at a pub. Was he at a pub at the watch party?
He wasn't yet, no.
So he's going to be at a pub, we're told, at 6 o'clock, because this is a big deal, not only, of course, for footy fans everywhere, but you can only imagine for footy fans in Tasmania. We're not expecting, I'm sure as Brent said, things to go awry. It's expected to get passed, but it could go all night because the MPs can talk about, you know, where they're coming from till their hearts are content. There's no limit. So each one will get to have their say, and then there will be that all-important vote. But it is expected to go in favour of that stadium, which is good news because the AFL, we know, have made that a provision of the licence. And so all things looking good on that front if you are a footy fan. Of course, there is some opposition in Tasmania, so there'll definitely be some people watching with some trepidation, but we will go live to the watch party to see what's happening down in Tassie.
Absolutely, we're all over it. OK, now it's Spotify Wrap Day. This is all we've been talking about upstairs.
I know. I've got
too,
some great news because I'm 34 according to Spotify, so I'm just going to be updating my date of birth.
I don't want to, brag, but I'm actually 30, so...
Have you been listening to K-pop Demon Hunters? This is how I think my age has gone down.
Yeah, I think
my 6-year-old has had my phone.
Yeah, my nieces have had a say in mine as well. But tell me, who was number 1 for you?
Bon Iver was number 1, and then the great Kendrick Lamar, who's in Melbourne at the moment, was number 3. Got to see him last night. So wonderful way to look back on your 12 months of music listening. I think I spent 14 whole days listening to music, it told me. So... I don't know, could you spend that time in a better way? I don't think so. I think music enriches life. But
definitely.
Yes, it's been another great year. I got a message, actually, I'm sure I was the only one, from Taylor Swift, thanking me for listening to her during the year. Did you get that as well?
That's weird, yeah. She popped into my phone as well. It did say at the start, "Hi, Steph, thanks for listening," though, so we must be the only two, surely.
Exactly.
See, we do have some in common. I don't know that the rest of our list really overlapped a whole lot.
Crossover.
All right, we will see you at 6.
Yeah, see you then.
Thanks,
Bye.
Leash. OK, well, still plenty more to come this hour, including a world-first therapy that could repair the damage of Alzheimer's. And we break down the global trends of those Spotify Wrapped annual music snapshots. score of the goals.
Our Aussie heroes soar on the world stage.
Is it Australia's time? It is! Shakana Anthony is the Olympic champion!
On your home of Olympic dreams. 9 and Stan Sport.
Harvey Norman, broadcast partner of Nine's coverage of the Olympic Winter Games.
This is Raj, and this is not good. Luckily, Raj's son sends money from Australia. He uses Orbit Remit, the trusted money transfer app. It's fast, secure, and the money can help pay for things like repairs around the home. It's a proud moment for Raj. Orbit Remit, where money can buy happiness.
Get filtered water to every tap with a PureTech filter wall. Reduce chlorine and PFAS for healthy, great-tasting water and improved hydration. Reduced aggravation of eczema? Check. Softer skin and hair? Sorted. Reduced scale build-up on shower screens? You got it. Filtered water for drinking, washing, showering, everything. Australia's favourite whole house filter? That's PureTech filter wall.
Movement that inspires.
$1 million in gold. Hurry, get your tickets now at martylotteries.com.au. Don't miss your chance to support a great cause. It could be your win of a lifetime.
How good's Christmas shopping? Presents. Mum, Dad. In-laws. In-laws. Dog. Netball coaches. And the lawnmower man. Sort of 75-year-old bloke who lives next door.
Yes, everyone's covered.
How good's that?
No.
Big W.
I didn't forget Uncle Terry.
The stage, the stars, the showdown. Royal Melbourne hosts the Australian Open, live and free on 9Gem and 9 Now.
Police are cracking down on drug-affected drivers after the Force secured a $21 million funding boost to ramp up roadside testing technology. The TAC grant will allow officers to conduct 25,000 extra drug tests each year.
Currently, it is a laborious, time-consuming, handwritten process that we will be automating on our mobile devices to make it easier and more efficient for the members to do that and give them more time to get back into the field.
Drug driving now exceeds drink driving as a major cause of deaths on the state's roads. A simple nasal spray could be a game changer in preventing and repairing the damage caused by Alzheimer's disease. As Ollie Haig reports, Melbourne scientists are looking to trial the treatment here in Australia.
Well, it's in this lab here in Melbourne that work is underway on potential world-leading treatment for those living with Alzheimer's. Scientists have discovered a therapy that would require a spray in the nose, preventing damage caused by the devastating brain disease. The spray spits out extracellular vesicles, or EVs, which are normally attached to natural killer cells. The NK cells are the immune system's first responders. This process allows the EV's particles to cross the body's blood-brain barrier, a thin membrane that protects the brain. Once inside, they destroy build-up of plaques in the brain, which can disrupt normal cell function and reduced inflammation. Professor Alan Trounson says it's based on a model explored overseas that's already delivered incredible results.
They responded dramatically. Some hadn't spoken for 2 years and then began speaking.
Another potential benefit of this treatment is the lack of any side effects. It's hoped clinical trials could start within 2 years.
Talks between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump's team in Moscow have ended without a breakthrough, though the Kremlin insists Russia has not rejected the US-led peace plan. It comes as NATO and EU leaders gather in response to Putin's threats against Europe. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his officials will meet with US negotiators in coming days. Well, chilling new footage has emerged of Jeffrey Epstein's private retreat in the Caribbean, known as Epstein Island. The vision shows bedrooms, a room outfitted with a dentist's chair and masks hanging from the walls, and the words power, truth and deception scribbled on a chalkboard. US politicians say the material offers a disturbing glimpse into Epstein's world. Well, streaming giant Spotify has rolled out its yearly snapshot of all the music we couldn't stop listening to. US correspondent Reid Butler reveals the top hits, surprises and guilty pleasures on everyone's playlists.
Surprise, surprise, Taylor Swift, she's not actually number one for a change. Instead, Spotify's most streamed artist from around the world, drum roll please, it is Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny, clocking up close to 20 billion streams over the year. Just incredible, and you can expect that run to continue next year too, because Bad Bunny will be the act at the Super Bowl halftime show early 2026. Cannot wait to see that. Tay Tay, she was number 2 on the most streamed list, followed by The Weeknd, Drake and Billie Eilish rounding out the top 5. Now, in terms of most streamed songs, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars's Die With A Smile was number 1. Now, in Australia, Tay Tay, she still held that number 1 spot for the most streamed artist down under. But the most streamed Aussie artist, this probably won't come as much of a surprise. It was The Wiggles. A lot of mums and dads there probably giving The Wiggles a very big run. Now, in terms of the most streamed Aussie song from an Aussie artist, well, it was released more than 10 years ago. I'm talking about Riptide from Vance Joy. That has managed to have so much staying power. Speaking of staying power, one of the bands which, throwback bands I guess you could say, which is having a major resurgence is AC/DC. We love to see it. The band rocketing up the streaming charts off the back of their incredible tour.
Okay, it's been a hot and windy day around the state, and Madeline Spark joins us now. How far off is the cool change, Maddie?
Yeah, well, Steph, it's already reached the southwest of the state. Warrnambool was 30 degrees at 1:30 and now it is down to 19. The change will hit Melbourne around 7 o'clock tonight. It's likely to drop temperatures by 10 to 15 degrees within an hour of it moving through. I'll have those details next.
Coming up at 6, tears for an Ocean Grove dad who died trying to save his dog from his burning home.
1,000 public service jobs axed to save $1 billion a year.
Meet miracle baby Ellie, born at 22 weeks.
And Stark strikes early in the second test.
It doesn't get much bigger than George Clooney, and tomorrow he's here.
Plus, Mark Taylor previews the second test, and beauty influencer James Charles drops in to say hello.
Movement that inspires.
How about this Prado and this Sea Ray boat? Your bank balance? Let's make it $1 million in gold. Hurry, get your tickets now at martylotteries.com.au. Don't miss your chance to support a great cause. It could be your win of a lifetime.
Discover new connoisseur gelato.
To my daughter Ainsley, looking after a large house wasn't easy. Moving to my serviced apartment at Aveo, I feel safe and secure. Having my meals and house cleaning taken care of has been a gift. You have been with me on my journey over the past few years, and for that I want to say thank you.
Care to talk retirement living with a little extra support? Call Aveo today.
Kent Urban Paint Markers. Any space, any idea. What will you create? Reversible nib. Choose from bullet or chisel. Pigmented ink gives superior coverage. permanent and waterproof once dry. Quick drying to easily build layers. Kent Urban Paint Markers. Available now at leading retailers.
Black Friday activated. Unlock your Vodafone value this Black Friday. Get a huge 120 gigs of data for only $39 a month. That's double the data on double the network with Vodafone.
At Coles, it's time for Beechwood Smoked Ham to feed the whole fam. Coles Beechwood Single Smoked Full Leg Ham is just $7.50 a kilo. That's a better price than last year. It's entertaining season at Coles.
Unexpected pain and inflammation? Try Advil Liquid Caps 90s, just $14.49 from Chemist Warehouse. Advil Liquid Caps are absorbed twice as fast as standard ibuprofen tablets. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
This weather report brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. For life's little emergencies or everyday needs, we're always here, always ready.
Hello again. Melbourne's had its warmest day since the start of November, peaking at 34 this afternoon, and winds have been gusty northerly, reaching speeds of 44 k's an hour around town. They were stronger through the west, 76 kilometres an hour over at Avalon, and Avalon and Werribee made it to 35 degrees today. Geelong topped the bunch with 36. Nowhere was hotter than the northwest though. Swan Hill and Mildura peaked at 37. Earlier this week, Falls Creek was sub-zero. Today, a balmy top of 18. And a fire weather warning remains in place for the Mallee, Wimmera and Northern Country. Thunderstorms with little or no rainfall are forecast for those districts this afternoon. The strong winds which delivered today's heat have been coming from the north, so they have dragged that heat down from the country's interior, but the heat is now being knocked back as we speak. This cool change has already approached the southwest. It'll drop temperatures for most of the state tomorrow, although northern Victoria will remain hot before cooling down for the weekend. Around the country, 35 for Canberra and Sydney. Hobart's heading for 22 degrees, a top of 29 in Adelaide. Back home, there's the chance of isolated thunderstorms through central and eastern districts. Areas through the south will be cooler, but the northwest is on track to hit the high 30s again. As for the city, dropping to 14 tonight, it will hit 25 tomorrow under partly cloudy skies, and then a top of 22 on Saturday with some showers around. So tomorrow should be a bit more pleasant than today, Steph.
Sounds good to me. Thanks, Maddie. And that is 9 News for this afternoon. We'll have more on the day's top stories for you in 9 News at 6. Thanks for joining us.
Our machine is stuffed full of counters. Each